Hey guys, Effie here. I'm going to show you today how I made this quick and easy watercolor card using our new Hustle and Grind sentiment set. Now what's great about this set is that it has these smaller triangular elements that you can use to complete a card. So what I'm going to do is arrange a few of them on my acrylic block in a geometric pattern, and I'm going to repeatedly stamp it onto a watercolor panel using some Versamark ink, and I'll do some repeat stamping over the face of the card, but I'm not going to cover the entire surface. I just want a portion of the panel stamped. So after I've stamped a little bit, you can kind of see the pattern after I poured on the embossing powder. So I rearranged some of the triangular stamps on my acrylic block, and I'm going to continue stamping until I get the geometric pattern that I want. And in between, I'm going to continue to pour on the embossing powder so that I can actually see where I'm stamping. Lastly, I took these chevrons and I just added those as a last touch. I poured on the white embossing powder, and now I'm just going to hit the whole panel with my heat tool. Next, I'm going to spray on some clean water onto my watercolor panel, and then I'm going to start dropping in a little bit of color burst pigment, but I'm going to use my water brush pen, and I already have some squeezed out powders in these half pans. For the first color that I drop in, I just use Prussian blue color burst, and since my watercolor panel is already wet, you see that pigment kind of bloom. So I'm using my medium tip water brush pen to help move that pigment around to blend it into the paper. Then I use a little bit of Wisteria in two spots, and then I used a little bit of Orchid. I actually can't remember if this is Orchid or Violet, but they're kind of similar, so they're interchangeable. So after I applied the three pigments, I'm just going to blend them into each other, and I'm also going to mop up any dripping parts of water, because if you have water that pools up with some watercolor, when it dries, it doesn't really dry too prettily. So I do end up dabbing away at certain parts of the panel, as you can see here, to make sure that when it dries to a nice blend. So once my panel is completely dried, I just trim the panel into an A2 size panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I stamped the Rise and Grind sentiment from the same set onto my card front using our Miami Cool dye ink. Then I trimmed strips of our double-sided adhesive to mount my watercolored panel onto a side-folding A2 card base, and I love using our double-sided adhesive because it's nice and strong and it holds up well when you're adhering any heavier weight paper onto your base. So once I've got this on, I just wanted to add a little something more. So I took the Hustle, this scripty Hustle stamp, and I embossed it in a light blue embossing powder on the face of my card. So I made sure to apply my anti-static powder, and then I stamped the Hustle stamp, poured on some light blue Wow embossing powder, and then melted that powder, and my card is now complete. So this was a quick and easy and dreamy watercolor card using just the one Hustle and Grind sentiment set. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope that you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel because I update it on a weekly basis. I'll see you next time. Bye!